Access your free language gifts right now before they expire. Here's what you're getting this month. First, the Buying Electronics Conversation Cheat Sheet. With this new cheat sheet, you'll learn how to talk about electronics and what phrases to use at the store. Download it for free right now. Second, our printable visual flashcards. Want to speak more of the language? You'll need to learn more words. And with our new printable visual flashcards, you'll know over 1,500 words. Just download and print them out. Third, 30 must-know legal vocabulary. Learn how to say court, law, illegal, and much more with this quick 1-minute lesson. Fourth, how to talk about feeling excited. If you want to talk about your feelings, then this next lesson will teach you 13 words for excitement in just a few minutes. Fifth, must-know Mother's Day vocabulary. Can you say Mother's Day in your target language? You'll be able to with this quick 1-minute vocabulary lesson. Sixth, tired of apps that just teach you random words? With our innovative language learning app, you learn through conversations and start speaking in minutes because the audio and video lessons are just 3 to 15 minutes long. Learning is that easy. Download it for free for the Android, iPhone, and iPad. And finally, the deal of the month. If you want to finally master the language with lessons by real teachers and our complete language learning program, get up to 35% off with our Ready, Set, Speak sale. To get your gifts and language learning resources, click the link in the description below. Download them right now before they expire. Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. In this lesson, we're going to talk about 10 Japanese adjectives you can use to describe people. Let's get started. Okay, let's take a look at the vocabulary for this lesson. Let's start with this side of the board. Let's go through each vocabulary point one by one. The first vocabulary word is seiga takai. Seiga takai. This means tall. Next is wakai. Wakai. This means young. Next is majime. Majime. This means serious. Next is kawaii. Kawaii. It means cute. Make sure to make this ee at the end very clear. Kawaii. Next is kakkoi. Kakkoi. This means cool. In this word, also, there's this ee sound at the end and this stop sound before the ko. Kakkoi. Kakkoi. Cool. Okay, let's take a look at the second group of vocabulary words. First, we have seiga hikui. Seiga hikui. This means short. This is the opposite of seiga takai, tall. Next is hosoi. Hosoi. This means thin. Hosoi. Next is kirei. Kirei. It means pretty. Next, handsome. 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 You might notice that this word is written in katakana because it's a loan word from another language, English. Handsome. Finally, we have yasashi. Yasashi. It means gentle. So also note, this word ends in a similar ee pattern. Shi and e at the end creates a long e sound. Yasashi. Okay, so those are all the vocabulary words we're going to practice in this lesson. Okay, let's take a look at a dialogue that uses this vocabulary. Let's start here. あれは弟です。あれは弟です。That's my younger brother. The response is, へー、背が高いですね。背が高いですね。We learned 背が高い means tall. Oh, he's tall. 背が高いですね。Okay, now let's look at a couple of examples and review the basic pattern that we use with this vocabulary. Let's start here with this example sentence. 僕は若いです。僕は若いです。I am young. This is said by a male speaker. We know this because of the word 僕, which means I for men. 僕は若いです。I am young. The second example sentence here is 彼女は背が低いです。彼女は背が低いです。She is short. So in these sentences, the adjectives are in red. 若い and 背が低い. So you'll notice in both of these example sentences, we follow the adjective with des. So this is our basic pattern for this grammar. The basic pattern that you can use is person wa adjective des. Person wa adjective des. This means person is adjective. As we see here, 僕は若いです. So I wa 若いです. I am young. And 彼女は背が低いです. She is short. We also saw this in the dialogue. へえ、背が高いですね. In this case, we don't have the person before the adjective because it's understood from context. The first speaker said, "That's my younger brother." So we understand from the situation. You can use this pattern to make your own sentences that describe people.
Do you remember how to say he?彼 And how to say tall? "背が高い Do you remember how to say he's tall? 彼は背が高いです。Do you remember how to say young? 若い And how to say short? 背が低い Do you remember how to say thin? 細い And how to say serious? 真面目 Do you remember how to say pretty? きれい And how to say cute? かわいい Do you remember how to say handsome? ハンサム And how to say cool? かっこいい Do you remember how to say gentle? 優しい
All right, that is everything for this lesson. In this video, you learned 10 adjectives that you can use to talk about people in Japanese. You also learned a simple grammar point that you can use to make your own sentences with these vocabulary words. Of course, if you like this lesson, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, or if you want to practice making example sentences with this information, please feel free to do so in the comment section of this video. Last, if you want to get more tools and resources to help you with your Japanese studies, please check us out at JapanesePod101.com for more. Thanks very much for watching this lesson, and I will see you again next time. Bye! Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. In this lesson, I'm going to talk about some common Japanese verbs you can use in daily life. Let's get started. Okay, let's take a look at the key vocabulary for this lesson. For this lesson, there are 10 words that are very commonly used in everyday life in Japanese. Let's take a look. Okay, the first verb is tabemasu. 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 This means eat. The next verb is nomimasu. 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 This means drink. The next verb is mimasu. 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 This verb means look, watch, or see. So in English, we can use look or watch or see according to the situation, but in Japanese, we don't have this differentiation. We just use mimasu for all three. The next verb is kikimasu. 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 This verb means listen or hear. So just as with look or watch or see, we can use kikimasu to mean listen or hear. We don't have to worry about two separate verbs in Japanese. Okay, the next verb is ikimasu. 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 This means go. Next is kaimasu. 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 This verb means buy. The next verb is shimasu. 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 This verb means do. Next is hanashimasu. 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 This verb means speak or talk. So again, just as with kikimasu and mimasu, this verb can be used to mean two different things, to mean speak or to mean talk. In Japanese, we use hanashimasu to express this. Last two, yomimasu. 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 This means read. And finally, kakimasu. 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 This verb means write. So these are the key vocabulary words we'll look at in more depth in this lesson. Okay, let's take a look at a dialogue that uses some of these verbs. The first sentence here is 週末は何をしますか? 週末は何をしますか? Which means, what are you doing this weekend? The response is 車を買います。車を買います。Which means, I'm buying a car. In these sentences, we see some of the verbs that we looked at earlier in this lesson. We see します here and 買います here. At the end of this sentence, which ends in します, we see か. So this particle makes a sentence into a question. What are you doing this weekend? I'm buying a car. Okay, let's take a look at a couple more examples that use these verbs. The first example sentence is テレビを見ます。テレビを見ます, which means I'm watching TV. The second example is 海へ行きます。海へ行きます, which means I'm going to the beach. So you'll notice in these example sentences and in the dialogue, the verb comes at the end of the sentence. Here and here. The particle changes according to the meaning of the sentence, but the verb is always at the end. Let's take a look at the basic grammar pattern we need to make sentences like this. Okay, let's take a look at the key grammar pattern that we've seen in this lesson. First, we see here in parentheses, 私は. So, 私は means I am, or I as the subject of the sentence. It's in parentheses here because it's very common to drop this when the subject of the sentence is already known from context. So, for example, when we saw this sentence, テレビを見ます, or this one, 海へ行きます, the subject of the sentence is clear. I'm talking about my own action. So we don't have to say 私はテレビを見ます or 私は海へ行きます. It's already clear. So it's very common to drop this. It's not incorrect to use 私は at the beginning of the sentence, but it does make things a bit more efficient. After this, we see some kind of information depending on the verb used, followed by mas here. So again, this uses the polite non-past form of the verb, as we saw at the beginning of the lesson in the vocabulary lists. So according to the verb that you use, this part of the sentence will change. So with each verb, there's a different sound. So that part of the sentence will be decided according to the verb. Here is the basic pattern that you can follow when you want to make your own sentence. I plus the object or the destination, depending on what you want to say, followed by a particle and then the verb. Particle, again, will change according to the verb you want to use. For example, in this sentence we saw e to indicate direction. In this sentence we saw o. Same thing here and here. This indicates an action of some kind. So depending on your verb, depending on the information that you want to communicate, your particle will change. But this is the basic pattern that you can use.
Do you remember how to say drink? 飲みます。飲みます。And how to say eat? 食べます。食べます。Do you remember how to say buy? 買います。買います。Do you remember how to say go? 行きます。行きます。And how to say look, watch, see? 見ます。見ます。Do you remember how to say lesson, hear? 聞きます。聞きます。And do you remember how to say speak, talk? 話します。話します。Do you remember how to say write? 書きます。書きます。And how to say read? 読みます。読みます。Do you remember how to say do? します。します。
Great! So in this lesson, you learned 10 common Japanese verbs that you can use to talk about daily life, and you learned a key grammar pattern that you can use to make your own sentences. I hope that this was helpful for you. Of course, if you have any questions, comments, or if you want to practice making some example sentences, please feel free to do so in the comment section of this video. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you again soon. Bye! Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.
Welcome to Can Do Japanese by JapanesePod101.com.
皆さんこんにちは。加納かなです。Hi everyone, I'm Kana Kano. In this lesson, you learn how to order two or more of something.
This is Karen Lee, and she's at a restaurant with her husband. The server is ready to take her order and says to Karen, "Your order, please."
ご注文をどうぞ。
Listen to the conversation and focus on Karen's response. Ready?
ご注文をどうぞ。
これを2つください。
Once more with the English translation.
ご注文をどうぞ。
Your order, please.
これを2つください。
Two of these, please.
Let's take a closer look at the conversation.
Do you remember how the server says, "Your order, please"?
ご注文をどうぞ。
This is a standard way of prompting a customer for an order. First is
ご注文、
meaning order, as in to place an order for food.
ご注文、
There are two parts to this. Let's start with
注文、
order.
注文、注文、
Before
注文、
is the honorific prefix.
ご、
The server uses this to show the customer more respect and increase the politeness level. Note, you may be familiar with another honorific prefix,
お、
as in.
お会計、
As a general rule of thumb, the prefix
お、
is used with native Japanese words, while
ご、
is used with words with Chinese roots, Sino-Japanese words. In the case of
注文、ご注文、
after this is
お、
the object marking particle.
お、お、
Think of
お、
as a marker for the thing receiving the action. In this sentence, it marks
ご注文、
your order as the thing being requested. And last is
どうぞ、
which translates as please in this context.
どうぞ、どうぞ、どうぞ。
Is used to make a request very polite. Altogether, it's
ご注文をどうぞ。
this literally means order please, but translates as your order, please.
ご注文をどうぞ。
This sentence is the shortened version of
ご注文をどうぞ言ってください。
which translates as please say your order.
言ってください。
Means please say.
言ってください。
However, the phrase
言ってください。
is omitted, as this is understood from the context of the situation and question.
Let's take a closer look at the response.
Do you remember how Karen says, "Two of these, please"?
これを2つください。
First is
これ、
meaning this, or in this case, these.
これ、これ。
In Japanese, there's no plural form for most words, so
これ、
can be both singular and plural depending on the context of the situation. In this case, it's plural, so we'll translate as these. Next is
お、
the object marking particle.
お、
In this sentence, it marks
これ。
these as the things being requested. After this is
2つ、
two.
2つ、2つ。
Last is the word
ください、
meaning please.
ください、ください。
Together it's
これを2つください。
this literally means these two, please, but translates as two of these, please.
これを2つください。
The pattern is
これを number ください。
number of these, please.
これを number ください。
To use this pattern, simply replace the number placeholder with the number of items you're requesting. Imagine you'd like 3 of something.
3つ、
3.
3つ、3つ。
Say 3 of these, please. Ready?
これを3つください。
3 of these, please.
これを3つください。
In Japanese, you use special counters when you count objects. The counter used depends on the shape or characteristic of the object. For example, こ is used for small or round objects. 本 is used for long objects. 枚 is used for flat objects. There is also a general counter, which is つ as in 1つ、2つ、3つ、4つ、5つ。This set of general counters can be used when there is no specific counter or when you don't know the counter. Note, the set only goes up to 10.
Let's look at some more examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
これを2つください。これを2つください。
これを3つください。これを3つください。
これを4つください。これを4つください。
これを1つください。これを1つください。
これを1つと、これを2つください。これを1つと、これを2つください。Did you notice how I added これを1つと one of these and to the beginning of the order? これを1つとこれを2つください。
1 of these and 2 of these, please. When pointing out multiple items on the menu, you can join them with the particle
と、
meaning and.
と、と。
Here is the variation pattern.
これを number とこれを number ください。
You should be aware of this pattern, but you won't need it for this lesson. Let's review the new words.
4つ、
4,
4つ、4つ。1つ、
1,
1つ、1つ。Let's review. Respond to the prompts by speaking aloud. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready? Do you remember how to say, please? ください。ください。And how to say the object marking particle? お。お。Do you remember how to say this or these? これ。これ。Do you remember how Karen Lee says, 2 of these please?
これを2つください。
これを2つください。Do you remember the polite way to say, your order? ご注文。ご注文。And how to say the object marking particle? お、お。Do you remember how the server says, "Your order, please"?
ご注文をどうぞ。
ご注文をどうぞ。Using the general counter, do you remember how to say 1? 一つ、一つ。And how to say 3? 三つ、三つ。And how to say 4? 四つ、四つ。
Let's practice. Imagine you're Mark Lee, and you're at a restaurant. You see a picture of a dish you'd like to try. Respond to the server by saying, "One of these, please." Ready?
ご注文をどうぞ。
これを一つください。
Listen again and repeat.
これを一つください。これを一つください。
Let's try another. Now imagine you want to order 3 of something. Ready?
ご注文をどうぞ。
これを三つください。
Listen again and repeat.
これを三つください。これを三つください。
Let's try one more. Imagine you're Karen Lee, and you want to order 4 of something. Ready?
ご注文をどうぞ。
これを4つください。
Listen again and repeat.
これを4つください。これを4つください。
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to comment on a joke. After watching this video, you'll be able to compliment or criticize anyone on their sense of humor. Now let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
数学の本はどうして悲しそう？問題が多いからだよ。
あはは、本当におかしいね。
Once more with the English translation.
数学の本はどうして悲しそう？問題が多いからだよ。
Why is the math book sad? Because it has so many problems.
あはは、本当におかしいね。
Haha, you're so funny. First of all, let's listen to the joke again. Why is the math book sad? Because it has so many problems. That's
数学の本はどうして悲しそう？問題が多いからだよ。
listen to it again.
数学の本はどうして悲しそう？問題が多いからだよ。数学の本はどうして悲しそう？問題が多いからだよ。
Now, how do you react to a joke? First, you'll need to learn how to say ha ha. That's
あはは。あはは。
Then you'll need to learn how to say, You're so adjective. The pattern is
本当に
adjective.
ね。
This Japanese sentence literally translates as truly adjective, right? But it means you're so adjective. For example, you're so funny.
本当におかしいね。本当におかしいね。
Here are a few more words you can use with the same pattern. Funny,
おかしい。おかしい。
funny,
おかしい。
awesome,
素晴らしい。素晴らしい。
awesome,
素晴らしい。
boring,
つまらない。つまらない。
boring,
つまらない。
smart,
頭がいい。頭がいい。
smart.
頭がいい。
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
数学の本はどうして悲しそう？問題が多いからだよ。
本当に素晴らしいね。
Why is the math book sad? Because it has so many problems.
数学の本はどうして悲しそう？問題が多いからだよ。
You're so awesome.
本当に素晴らしいね。
数学の本はどうして悲しそう？問題が多いからだよ。
本当につまらないね。
Why is the math book sad? Because it has so many problems.
数学の本はどうして悲しそう？問題が多いからだよ。
You're so boring.
本当につまらないね。
数学の本はどうして悲しそう？問題が多いからだよ。
本当に頭がいいね。
Why is the math book sad? Because it has so many problems.
数学の本はどうして悲しそう？問題が多いからだよ。
You're so smart.
本当に頭がいいね。
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember what the joke was?
数学の本はどうして悲しそう？問題が多いからだよ。
Imagine you think it was awesome. Do you remember how to say awesome?
素晴らしい。素晴らしい。
Say, You're so awesome.
本当に素晴らしいね。
Now react to the joke saying the other person is awesome.
数学の本はどうして悲しそう？問題が多いからだよ。
本当に素晴らしいね。
Now imagine you think it was boring. Do you remember how to say boring?
つまらない。つまらない。
Say, You're so boring.
本当につまらないね。
Now react to the joke saying the other person is boring.
数学の本はどうして悲しそう？問題が多いからだよ。
本当につまらないね。
Now imagine you think it was smart. Do you remember how to say smart?
頭がいい。頭がいい。
Say, you're so smart.
本当に頭がいいね。
Now react to the joke saying the other person is smart.
数学の本はどうして悲しそう？問題が多いからだよ。
本当に頭がいいね。
How are your Japanese listening skills? First, you'll see an image and hear a question. Next comes a short dialogue. Listen carefully and see if you can answer correctly. We'll show you the answer at the end.
男の人と女の人が話しています。面接は何時からですか？仕事探しはどうですか？
大丈夫です。一応、明日面接があります。
本当ですか？じゃあ面接が終わってから一緒にコーヒーを飲みに行けませんか？
いいですね。でも、面接は午後7時からです。遅くなりますよ。
じゃあ面接の前はどうですか？
いいですね。じゃあ4時にしましょ
面接は何時からですか？男の人と女の人が話しています。面接は何時からですか？仕事探しはどうですか？
う。大丈夫です。一応、明日面接があります。
本当ですか？じゃあ面接が終わってから一緒にコーヒーを飲みに行けませんか？
いいですね。でも、面接は午後7時からです。遅くなりますよ。
じゃあ面接の前はどうですか？
いいですね。じゃあ4時にしましょ
How are your Japanese listening skills? First, you'll see an image and hear a question. Next comes a short dialogue. Listen carefully and see if you can answer correctly. We'll show you the answer at the end.
男の人が女の人に今日の予定について話しています。女の人はこれから何をしますか？
う。今日は会議がありますから、まずは飲み物を買ってきてください。それから資料もプリントアウトしておいてください。そして郵便局に行ってこの手紙も送ってください。郵便局は5時まで空いていますから、会議が終わってからでもいいですよ。
はい、わかりました。女の人はこれから何をしますか？男の人が女の人に今日の予定について話しています。女の人はこれから何をしますか？
今日は会議がありますから、まずは飲み物を買ってきてください。それから資料もプリントアウトしておいてください。そして郵便局に行ってこの手紙も送ってください。郵便局は5時まで空いていますから、会議が終わってからでもいいですよ。
はい、わかりました。
10 must-know words to use at the supermarket. Let's go! 買い物です。客、カスタマー、お客様、カスタマー、客、カスタマー。この店はいつ来ても客がいっぱいです。この店はいつ来ても客がいっぱいです。This shop is always full of customer whenever I visit. Customer、客。客でも大丈夫なんですけども、これだとちょっとあまり丁寧な感じではないので、普段はお客様と言います。客よりもお客様のが sounds good。この店はいつ来てもお客さんがいっぱいです。さん、様。Whichever is fine, but sama is maybe a bit too polite, so you can just say さん。この店はいつ来てもお客さんがいっぱいです。スーパーマーケット、スーパーマーケット、スーパーマーケット、スーパーマーケット、スーパーマーケット。このスーパーマーケットは駅に近くて便利です。このスーパーマーケットは駅に近くて便利です。This supermarket is convenient because it's close to the train station. クレジットカード、クレジットカード、credit card。クレジットカード、credit card。クレジットカードは使えますか？クレジットカードは使えますか？ Can I use a credit card? ビザは使えますか？ Can I use a Visa credit card? Can I use a Mastercard? マスターカードは使えますか？高価な、高価な、expensive。高価な、expensive。この店は高価な手作りの家具を売っています。この店は高価な手作りの家具を売っています。This shop sells expensive handmade furniture. レシート、レシート、receipt。レシート、receipt。こちら、お釣りとレシートです。こちら、お釣りとレシートです。Here the change and the receipt. 買う、買う、buy。買う、buy。書店で本を買いましょう。書店で本を買いましょう。Let's buy books at the bookstore. 書店でもいいんですが、本屋さんでも大丈夫です。bookstore、本屋さん。代金、代金、cost。代金、cost。本の代金は私が払いました。本の代金は私が払いました。I paid for the cost of a book. 食事の代金は僕が払いました。大丈夫だよ。I paid for the dinner. It's on me, so don't worry. Pretty girl. 安い、安い、cheap。安い、cheap。このレタスはとても安いです。このレタスはとても安いです。This lettuce is very cheap. Nice. 割引、割引、discount。割引、discount。クーポン券を使うと食事代が1割引きになる。クーポン券を使うと食事代が1割引き安くなる。If you use a coupon, you will receive a 10% discount for the cost of your meal. 販売員、販売員、salesperson。販売員、salesperson。私は保険の販売員です。私は保険の販売員です。I'm an insurance salesperson. いかがですか？ How about this? That's all for today. I hope you find this lesson interesting. When you come to Japan and go to the shopping, you might hear salesperson saying いらっしゃいませ。It means welcome, so you don't really need to answer for that. Just a tip. 日本でのお買い物を楽しんでください。I hope you enjoy the shopping here in Japan. I'll see you next time. Bye bye. いらっしゃいませ。
Hey everyone, welcome to the Monthly Review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, study tools, and resources. By the way, all the lessons and bonuses you're about to see can be downloaded for free on our website. So click the link in the description right now to sign up for your free lifetime account. Okay, today's topic is how tipping points will bring you closer to your language goals. If you've been learning a language for some time, you know that real progress takes time, that you won't see instant results in the next 5 minutes. And this can be discouraging for many learners. But don't worry, there are secret signs of success that you're on the right track and that you're going to make it. And they're called tipping points. You may not notice them immediately, but you'll always notice them in hindsight. So today you'll discover what tipping points are, how to know that you're on the right track with your language learning, how to reach tipping points, and much more. But first, if you're looking for new free language resources and downloads, here are this month's new lessons and resources. Be sure to download these now before we take them down in a few days. First, the Buying Electronics Conversation Cheat Sheet. With this new cheat sheet, you'll learn how to talk about electronics and what phrases to use at the store. Download it for free right now. Second, our printable visual flashcards. Want to speak more of the language? You'll need to learn more words. And with our new printable visual flashcards, you'll know over 1,500 words. Just download and print them out. Third, 30 must-know legal vocabulary. Learn how to say court, law, illegal, and much more with this quick 1-minute lesson. Fourth, how to talk about feeling excited. If you want to talk about your feelings, then this next lesson will teach you 13 words for excitement in just a few minutes. And fifth, must-know Mother's Day vocabulary. Can you say Mother's Day in your target language? You'll be able to with this quick 1-minute vocabulary lesson. To get your free resources, click the link in the description below right now. They're yours to keep forever. Okay, let's jump into today's topic. How tipping points will bring you closer to your language goals. Part 1. Why tipping points are crucial for confidence in language learning. So, what's a tipping point? A tipping point is a point that you reach, or a small victory, and it gives you confidence that you're going to make it. It's a sign that you're on the right track. Here's a non-language example. Imagine a gym on a Friday night, and not at 5 p.m., I mean at 10 p.m. What does it look like to you? It probably looks empty to me, like a library on a Friday night. But if you've ever been to a gym on a Friday night, there's a very interesting group of people. The most fit people you'll ever see are there. Why is this a big deal? Well, of all the things you could be doing on a Friday night, if you naturally decide to work on your fitness or any goal that you have, then that's a good sign. So what about language learning? It works the same way with languages. If you find yourself learning and practicing a language on a Friday night instead of watching Netflix, if you're taking language lessons with our innovative language learning app instead of playing a game on your smartphone, if you're watching our video lessons instead of watching random YouTube videos, then you've reached a tipping point. These are all examples of tipping points. It's when you, your actions, and your free time shift away from usual routines like watching TV towards the goals you really want, like mastering a language. That's a tipping point, and it's crucial for your confidence and overall language learning. It's evidence that you're on the right track and you're going to make it. And you might wonder, how is it evidence if I don't see any progress just yet? It does take a bit of time to make progress with language, but the answer is simple. Language learning is a lot like anything else you do in life. It comes down to where you put in your time. It's like Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000-hour rule. You need time. Languages don't need 10,000 hours per se, but the principle is the same. If someone spends an hour every day on language and has done that for the past 2 years, that's a lot of time. So you can guarantee that this person is speaking the language with no problems, simply because of the time they put in. So what about you? How can you know if you're on the right track in reaching these tipping points? Let's get into the second part. Part 2. How you can tell when you're reaching a tipping point. Picture it like this. You're learning a language in your free time. You have a small goal set. Now, within your daily routines, you start making certain choices. Between watching TV and mastering a language, you start putting more time into language. Exactly. Last week, you started with 10 minutes of learning and 50 minutes of TV. Then it grows. You spend 20 minutes on language, 40 on TV, and then 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And soon it overtakes your typical routines. That's exactly how tipping points happen. So take a look at how much time you spend on a language and take a look at your recent choices of activities. If you're learning a language with your smartphone instead of playing a mobile game, if you're spending more time watching language videos instead of regular YouTube videos, and if you're learning on a Friday night as a personal choice, that's how you know you've reached a tipping point. Tipping points are something you won't notice immediately, but you will realize in hindsight. But the point is, when you find yourself choosing language over something else, that's a sign that you're going to make it. And if you want to actively reach these tipping points, then it's just a matter of putting in more time. Again, if you started with 10 minutes a day last week, bring yourself up to 11 or 12 minutes a day this week. Simply adjust your routine and add more time. For example, we often recommend you to set small, measurable goals with a deadline every month. So if you are, aim a little higher with your next goal. Add an extra few minutes to your routines. Now, back to you. Now that you learned about tipping points, do you think you've reached any? Leave us a comment. So thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Next time, we'll talk about your first steps to learning a language, the Fundamentals Welcome Pack. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. See you next time. Bye! You want to learn the language, but it's hard to find effective lessons that are made by real teachers and that actually build on top of each other, where you're learning new things and reviewing what you've already learned. Well, that's exactly how our audio and video lessons inside our learning program work. How to learn language fast with audio and video lessons. 4 tricks inside. In this guide, you'll discover 1. How to learn practical conversations in just minutes. 2. 4 tips that'll help you absorb the language and master lessons fast. And 3. How to get our brand new lessons for free. But first, if you don't yet have access to our learning program, click the link down in the description and sign up for your free lifetime account right now. First, what makes these language lessons so effective? Each lesson is around 3 to 15 minutes in length, making it super easy to breeze through and absorb the language. You're not reading walls of text, but listening to actual native speakers teach you a language. Just press play to start. First, you hear a practical conversation. Then you hear it again slowly with translations. Then, our teachers explain the vocabulary, grammar points, and cultural nuances. Finally, you hear the conversation one last time, and at this point, you understand a lot more than you did the first time you heard the lesson, which is exciting for a language learner, especially when you didn't understand anything before. And you can even start speaking if you repeat along. All of this takes just a few minutes. Then, mark the lesson as complete and move on to the next lesson in our learning pathway, where you'll learn even more and get to review some of the words and grammar points from prior lessons. 2. There are a few special tips and tricks you can do to master the lessons even faster. You can read along with our free lesson transcript so that you can pick apart every word that you hear. You can immerse yourself with the premium dialogue track that gives you just the conversation, with no translations. If you have a question, you can leave a comment on the lessons and our teachers will respond. And you can replay and review the lesson as much as you want, so you can learn at your own pace. So, how do you get access to the lessons? You get the lessons the moment you sign up for a free lifetime account and set your level. Based on your level, you'll get a learning pathway of lessons that's right for you. Just start there with Lesson 1. You can also access your next lesson on the dashboard. And you can learn on the go, for example, on a walk, on your way to work, or while waiting in line at the store with our free app. And as an extra bonus, you get our newest lessons for free. We release 3 to 4 new lessons a week, so you get new lessons every week non-stop. Find them inside the Lessons drop-down menu, in Newest Lessons, or inside the menu on the app. But first, if you don't yet have access to our learning program, click the link down in the description and sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Do you feel like you don't speak enough of your target language? That you need to know more words? Then stick around. With these lessons, you'll pick up some of the most common words in just a few minutes. Now, this video is a small portion of our learning program. To get the full lessons, translations, and Fluency Fast study tools, click the link in the description and sign up for your free lifetime account. Learning a language is tough because it's hard to remember every single thing that you learn. But what if you had a cheat sheet with the must-know words, phrases, and grammar rules, where you can glance through and review everything in a minute or 2? If you do that enough times, then the language will become natural. How to learn a language 2 times faster with PDF cheat sheets. And in this guide, you'll discover 1. How to learn and retain hundreds of words and phrases with our cheat sheets. 2. How to unlock over 30 cheat sheets, and much more. But first, if you don't yet have access to our learning program, the lessons and special cheat sheets like this, click the link down in the description and sign up for your free lifetime account right now. First, what are these cheat sheets? With our learning program, you'll learn the language with bite-sized audio and video courses. And as a bonus, you get PDF cheat sheets to help you review the language. These cheat sheets cover must-know topics like weather, family, talking about hobbies, and much more. There are over 30 cheat sheets inside. Inside each cheat sheet, you get the words, phrases, and helpful sentence patterns related to the topic that you can quickly review whenever you have a minute or two. Now, how can you learn faster with these cheat sheets? Just download a cheat sheet, print it, keep it nearby, and glance through as much as possible. Eventually, you'll know all of the words and phrases in and out, simply because you've seen the words enough times. It's all about exposure to the language. The more you're exposed to the language, the better you'll remember it. And you can always save the PDFs to your device, but having physical cheat sheets makes it easy to pick one up and glance through. Otherwise, they'll sit somewhere on your phone or computer, along with the many other language learning apps you haven't been using. How can you get access to our PDF cheat sheets? Just click the link in the description and sign up for a free lifetime account to get our learning program and these bonus cheat sheets. Once you've signed up, come back to the special PDF lessons page by clicking the link in the description. Remember, here's what you can do to learn all of these words by heart. Drill these words with our spaced repetition flashcards, which will help cement these words into your long-term memory. Save them to the word bank, your personal vocabulary collection, where you can print out your own study sheets, or review the words with our looped vocabulary slideshow, and play it until you know all of the words. So click the link in the description right now and sign up for your free lifetime account to get these lessons and study tools. Great work! Here's a reward. Speed up your language learning with our PDF lessons. Get all of our best PDF cheat sheets and ebooks for free. Just click the link in the description.